Welcome to the class of social science for class 3, chapter 8, part 1. The name of the chapter is India, a beautiful country. I repeat, India, a beautiful country. Now, there are different types of landforms found in India. Hill, peninsula, mountain, island, valley, plain, desert. Okay, so these are different types of landforms which are found especially in India and in some other countries also, and the continents also. What are hills? Hills are the small part of the mountains. Okay, they are the places where they are neither the mountains. The mountains are very high. Okay, they are at a very high level. Okay, but the hills are very small in comparison to the mountains. Peninsula. Peninsula is actually an area which is covered from three sides of water bodies. India is a peninsular country. Why it is a peninsular country? Because it is covered by or surrounded by three sides of water body in the south. Only one part is connected to the land. Three sides means Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal. These three water bodies surround the India in the southern part. Next, mountains. Mountains which are very at the huge level, at the high level, and they are also having the triangle peaks. Next, island. Now what are island? Island is a part or a piece of land which occurs in between or which is covered by all sides of water body. Okay, there is an overall water surrounded and a very small piece of land is just between that water body. Okay, that is called an island, where usually the people cannot go easily. They have to use the water transport to go over there. And mostly, example I can give, like Lakshadweep is an island, Andaman Nicobar is an island. It is surrounded by, overall, totally surrounded by the water bodies. Next, valley. Now what do you mean by valley? Valley is a sort of a place in between the two mountains. Okay, two mountains, a flat land is known as valley. Now what are plains? Plains are flat tablelands. Okay, flat lands which are having the trees, grasses, and usually people also live there. They are said to be the plains. Next, the last one, desert. Now what is, all know meaning of desert? Desert means sand mountains, where we usually find the sand mountains, the sand hills, okay, which is covered totally with the area of sand and which is very dry place. That is said to be the desert. So these are the types of the landforms over here. What are these? Let's repeat again. Number 1, hill, H-I-N-N, hill. Second, peninsula, P-E-N-I-N-S-U-L-A, peninsula. Next, mountain, M-O-U-N-T-A-I-N, mountain. Next, island. Now here I am saying island. Why I am not saying Iceland? Because S is silent. So it is island. I-S-L-A-N-D, island. Next, valley, V-A-L-L-E-Y, valley. Next, plain, P-L-A-I-N, plain. The last one, desert, D-E-S-E-R-T, desert. Students, you have to make these types of landforms in your notebook. Draw it beautifully, color it and name them. Okay, so the types of the landforms, I hope you have received it and you have got it, understood. The first one is hill, second peninsula, third mountain, fourth island, fifth valley, sixth plain, and the last one is desert. Now discussing about the physical features of India. India has a great diversity of landforms, mountains, plateaus, plains, valley, hills, etc. are being found in India. They have been formed in different ways at a different period of time. They are constantly being modified. Now what do you mean by modified? It means they are being kept on changing, okay, and reshaped by the internal and external forces of the earth. Okay, so these all changes have been occurred due to the changing of the earth internally or externally. See, how do externally affect it? Externally, I can say there was a piece of land, but suddenly a huge tsunami came, okay, and earthquake came and the land got distracted. Okay, for if tsunami came, it got filled or covered with the water. The land disappeared. If the earthquake came over there, what happened? Over there, the land got distracted. Okay, the land got divided into two parts or got damaged. So these are the changes which are being occurred by the due to the earth. And what actually they made the changes? These all make the changes in the diversity of the various landforms. Now there are in this map, in this slide, I am showing you the Indian geographical map. This Indian geographical map is being divided into so many things. Now are you able to see here? Here in the blue color we are having the Trans-Himalayas, Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. With the green color we are having Himalayas, the Northern Plains, Central Highlands and the Himalayas also in the northeast side. With the brown color we are having brown and the yellow sandy color we are having the Indian desert. Okay. Now these are the parts of the Himalayan ranges. Okay. Now not the Himalayan ranges, but I can say these are overall the geographical map of India. Now here the Himalayan parts are being coming in with the green color. The northern plains are coming with the green color. Central Highland is also coming with the green color. Why so? Because they are the areas which is usually covered with the trees. Okay, they are the areas which we are able to see the greenery part. Okay, now in the desert side, you all know what is the color of the sand. The color of the sand is brown color, or we have sometimes made with a light yellow color. Okay, so this is area of the desert area. Now coming to the western eastern Ghats. Okay, these are the areas which are the coming for the Ghats, small mountain ranges, but these are also the area which is being covered or surrounded by the three sides of water bodies. Students, you have to take a physical map of India, and in that physical map of India you have to color as it is colored same like this in this slide, and you have to label it, you have to name it, and then you have to paste that map in your notebook. Now firstly we will discuss about mountains. What are mountains? Mountains are the areas of land that have risen high above the surrounding areas. This is the surrounding area, and at the upper level we are having the mountains. Temperature falls with increase in height. When you go at the mountain area, like we are going to Shimla or we are going to Jammu Kashmir side, okay, the Himalayan ranges side, what happens? We feel very cold there. Why we feel very cold? Because the temperature falls with increase in height. Therefore, mountainous region have a cool climate. Okay, mountainous regions have a cool climate. In case of high mountains, peaks remain covered with snow around the year. If the mountain is too much in a huge height, at the too much height, what is happening? The peak of the mountain is usually covered with the snow throughout the year. I hope you have seen in the movies also and in the TV shows or in the pictures, Himalayan ranges, you are able to see it is always in a white in color, okay, covered with the white. Why it is covered with the white? Because of the snow and because these mountains are at a very high level or very huge level. Now let us discuss about the northern mountains. The northern boundary of the country is covered by mountains. They are known as northern mountains. Now what are northern mountains? Let's repeat. The northern boundary of the country is covered by mountains. They are known as the northern mountains. They include the Himalayas, Karakoram and some hill ranges in the northeast. Okay, so let's repeat. They include the Himalayas. Karakoram is also a sort of a mountain peak. Okay, it's coming in the part of the Himalayas and some hill ranges in the northeast. Now look at this map. In this map, are you able to see the area which is colored with brown, yellow, green? This area is actually all the part of the northern mountains. So again, what you have to do? You have to take a physical map of India and you have to color all these areas showing the Himalayan mountains. Now see, over here I have shown you the color scheme also and the brown level, okay, the brown area which is coming to the low, okay. Now coming to the green part and more above the blue area and all which is coming to the high of 8,850. So just imagine the Himalayas are at so much of the height. Starting from the ground level 0, it is rising and rising up to the 8,850. Students, you have to take a physical map. You have to color the Himalayan ranges, okay, the northern Himalayas, and you have to paste in your notebook. Just name it the northern mountains, okay. Simple, write the name, the northern mountains. You are not being said to make this elevation, okay. Just write the name, color it properly and write it the name with the northern mountains. Now let's discuss about the Himalayan mountains. The Himalayan mountains, it is a majestic mountain range. Majestic, it means it's a very at a high level and it is said to be the very strong and the huge one, the strongest one. The word in Sanskrit means a dope of ice. Now Himalaya over here in Sanskrit it means a dope of ice. Now what is the meaning of a dope? A dope is actually a place where the people lives or where it is being found in a huge quantity. So Himalayas are said to be they called the adobe of ice. It means a place of ice where we find ice in a huge quantity and throughout the whole year. Whenever we go to the Himalayan ranges, you are easily able to see the ice. It is the highest and one of the longest mountain ranges in the world. It extends for about 2,400 kilometers from east to west, and its width varies from 400 kilometers in Kashmir to 150 kilometers in the northeast. It is in India, it stretches in a curve from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Okay, so the Himalayan mountains stretches from Jammu Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Here, what we discuss about the Himalayan mountains? Himalayan mountains, it is a majestic mountain range. In Sanskrit, it means adobe of ice. It means home of ice. It is the highest and one of the longest mountain ranges in the world. It extends from about 2,400 kilometers from east to west, and its width varies from 400 kilometers in the Jammu Kashmir to 150 kilometers in the northeast. In India, it stretches in a curve from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Now, let's discuss about some highest peaks in the world, okay, which are found in the Himalayan ranges. Now here, some names of the peaks are Everest, Mount Everest, which is said to be the highest peak in the world. Its altitude is 8,848 meters and it is located in Nepal. Second highest peak is K2. K2, which is in Pakistan, and its altitude is 8,611 meters. Last one is the Kanchenjunga. Kanchenjunga, which is the India's highest peak in India, Kanchenjunga of the Himalayan ranges, which is having an altitude of 8,586 meters. Students, you have to make this chart, okay? Name of the peak, altitude and location. You have to write about all the names of the peak, their altitudes and location, and you have to draw this in your notebook. Okay, so do the work very neatly and tightly. Now, the Himalayas are being divided into three parallel ranges. Okay, number one, the Greater Himalayas, which is called Himadri. Second, the Middle or the Lesser Himalayas, which is called Himachal. And the last one, the Outer Himalayas or the southernmost range of Himalayas, which are known as Shivaliks. Okay, so here the Himalayas are being divided into three parts: the Greater Himalayas, the Middle Himalayas, or the Lesser Himalayas, and the Shivaliks. Okay, the Greater Himalayas are known as the Himadri. The Middle or the Lesser Himalayas are called Himachal, and the Outer Himalayas in the southernmost range, they are called the Shivaliks. So how many parts the Himalayas has been divided? Three parts. Name them: the Greater Himalayas or Himadri. The Middle or Lesser Himalayas are called Himachal, and the last one, the Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. If you are writing Himadri, Himachal or Shivalik, that is also okay. and if you are writing the Greater Himalayas, the Middle Himalayas or the Outer Himalayas, that is also okay. So both the answers have been correct. If the question comes to you that Himalayan ranges are been divided into how many parallel ranges, you will write the answer 3 parallel ranges. Name them: the Greater Himalayas or Himadri, the Middle Lesser or Himalayas or Himachal, or the Outer Himalayas or Shiva lakes. Now let us discuss about the northern plains. Are you able to see this map? In this map, this orange color is showing you the area of the northern plains, which is starting from the Rajasthan, some part of the Rajasthan, covering some part of the Rajasthan, whole Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, okay, West Bengal also, and some part of the Mizoram, Meghalaya, Assam, Meghalaya. Okay, these are all parts which is covering the area or coming in the part of the northern plains. So again, you have to take a physical map of India and you have to color the or cover this area. You can take a political map also. No issues with the physical map only. Take a political map of India, cover this all area with a color, okay, and name the states which are coming and you are covering here, and paste this map in your notebook. Now, plains. What are actually the plains called? Plains are the large stretches of flat land. The northern plains, which are also known as Indico-Gangetic Plain, which are also known as Indico-Gangetic Plains. The land of such areas are usually fertile and have a climate suitable for agriculture. It means that we can do cultivation, we can grow crops there very easily because of the fertile land and suitable climate. They are suitable for large scale farming. Now what do you mean by large scale farming? It means farming can be done in a huge quantity. It is easy to construct buildings on plains. It means it is very easy to construct a building on a plain. See, on a flat land you can make a house, but if the land is a sloping one or it's moving down and coming up, it's a very improper way. So are you able to make the house there? No, you cannot make the house there. So it is very easy to construct buildings on plains. Most industries develop along the banks of the river because of easy availability of water. I repeat the word availability. Avail and ability. These two words combined together making a name availability. A-V-A-I-A, A-V-A-I-L, A-B-I-L-I-T-Y. Availability of water. Most industries develop along the banks of river, okay, because they can find the water very easily. So the plains are usually a flat land, okay, a large stretches of the flat land. The northern plains are also known as Indo-Gangetic Plain. These land areas are very fertile and have a suitable climate for the agriculture. They are suitable for large scale farming. Why large scale farming? Because of the fertile land and because of the suitable climate. And also one more thing, that the water is found very easily there. It is very easy to construct buildings on the plains, and most of the industries are established there on the banks of the river because of the water. The water is very easily found there. Now, plains. What are actually the plains called? Plains are the large stretches of flat land. The northern plains, which are also known as Indigo-Gangetic Plain, plains. The land of such areas are usually fertile and have a climate suitable for agriculture. It means that we can do cultivation, we can grow crops there very easily because of the fertile land and suitable climate. They are suitable for large scale farming. Now, what do you mean by large scale farming? It means farming can be done in a huge quantity. It is easy to construct buildings on plains. It means it is very easy to construct a building on a plain. See, on a flat land you can make a house, but if the land is a sloping one, or it's moving down and coming up, it's a very improper way. So are you able to make the house there? No, you cannot make the house there. So it is very easy to construct buildings on plains. Most industries develop along the banks of the river because of easy availability of water. I repeat the word availability. Avail and ability. These two words combined together making a name availability. Availability. Availability of water. Most industries develop along the banks of river, because they can find the water very easily. So the plains are usually a flat land, a large stretches of the flat land. The northern plains are also known as Indo-Gangetic Plain. These land areas are very fertile and have a suitable climate for the agriculture. They are suitable for large scale farming. Why large scale farming? Because of the fertile land and because of the suitable climate. And also one more thing, that the water is found very easily there. It is very easy to construct buildings on the plains, and most of the industries are established there on the banks of the river because of the water. The water is very easily found there. The northern plains, it is the most largest and the most fertile land in the north. They are located to the south of the Himalayan range. These plains extend 3,200 kilometers across east to west and are 150 to 300 kilometers wide, spanning from Punjab in the west to the parts of Assam in the east, covering states like Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Delhi. These plains are extremely fertile and are very drained due to perennial rivers. Perennial rivers which are originating from the northern Himalayas, and they are flowing down and going to mix in the or get drained in the Bay of Bengal, originating in the Himalayas, flowing through them. The highly fertile alluvium is found here. Alluvium, which is said to be the most fertile minerals for the cultivation. So very highly fertile alluvium is found here, due to which the land is also made in a huge quantity of the fertility is being found. This is the most, The northern plains are the most largest and the most fertile land in the north. They are located in the south of the Himalayan range. These plains extend from 3,200 kilometers across from east to west, and they are 150 to 300 kilometers spanning from Punjab in the west to the parts of Assam in the east, covering the states like Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Delhi. These plains are extremely fertile, are very well drained due to the perennial rivers originating in the Himalayas. Flowing through them, the highly fertile alluvium is found here. In the northern plains, very highly fertile alluvium is being found. You know what, students? The fertile plains make agriculture very profitable, because you know the land will be fertile over there. It is very easy to cultivate the crops. Okay, and as the crops will be cultivated or produced in a huge quantity, obviously agriculture will increase, and as the agriculture will increase, it will give a profit to the farmers and to the industries. There are 3 large river basins that forms the northern plains. And what are those? Number 1, the Ganga basin in the center, the Satluj basin in the west, and the Brahmaputra basin in the east. So the northern plains are being divided or are formed by 3 large river basins. What are those? The Ganga basin in the center, the Satluj basin in the west, and the Brahmaputra basin in the east. Satluj, S-A-T-L-U-G, Satluj basin. Next is the Brahmaputra basin, B-R-A-H-A-M-P-U-T-R-A, Brahmaputra basin in the east. So about the northern plains, what we have actually discussed, that these plains are very land stretches of the flat land. The northern plains are also known as Indo-Gangetic plains. The land of such areas are usually fertile and have a suitable climate for agriculture. They are suitable for large scale farming, okay, because of the fertile land and also for the suitable climate. They are suitable for, that is why they are being suitable for large scale farming. It is easy to construct building on the plains. It is very easy to construct building on the plains because of the flat land. Most industries develop along with the banks of the river because of the easy availability of water. This is the most largest and the most fertile land in the north, the northern plains. They are located to the south of the Himalayan range. These plains extend from 3,200 kilometers across east to west and 150 to 300 kilometers wide, spanning from Punjab in the west to the parts of Assam in the east, covering the states of Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Delhi. These plains are extremely fertile and are very drained due to the perennial rivers, perennial rivers, which originate in the Himalayas and they slope down. Okay, they come down and get drained in the Bay of Bengal. These rivers are originating in the Himalayas and these all rivers are flowing through them. The highly fertile alluvium is found here, and as these lands or these plains are very fertile, what is happening? It is making the agriculture very profitable. It means in a good quantity the cultivation can be done, and as the cultivation can be done, the agriculture business gains profit. There are three large river basins that are forming these northern plains. What are those? Number one, the Ganga basin, which is in the center. Next, the Satluj basin, which is in the west, and the Brahmaputra basin, which is in the east. Now, these are qualities, or these are the features of the northern plains. Now, in this presentation, we discussed about the various types of landforms which are found all over the world and especially in India. What are those? We are also having hill, we are having the peninsula, mountain, island, valley, plains and desert. Now, in the physical features of the India, we are having the mountains, plateaus, valley, hills, islands, etc. Okay. I have also showed you a map which is showing you all the geographical conditions or the physical features of India. The Himalayas, the northern plains, the central highland, Indian desert. And I told you all you have to take a physical map of India and you have to color all these places, name them and paste it in your notebook. Now, we also discussed that what are actually the Himalayas. Himalayas are the land which is said to be rising above the surrounding areas, and the temperature falls when they used to move up and up to the Himalayan ranges. Okay, any of the mountain ranges. In case of the high mountains, the peaks are usually covered with the snow. Northern mountains are actually the mountains. It is said to be the northern boundary of the country, which is covered by the mountains. That is why it is known as the northern mountains in India. They include the Himalayas, Karakoram and some hill ranges in the northeast. I also showed you a map where we were able to see the Himalayan ranges covering the areas, okay, which was giving you the different three colors were there, and I told you all to color it and paste it in your notebook. Now, Himalayan mountains. For the Himalayan mountains, I gave you a small introduction, which is told you all that Himalayan ranges are the majestic mountain range, okay, which are very superior, which are very high, okay, because you all know that the Himalayan mountains are the greatest mountain, the highest mountain in the world. Okay. The word Sanskrit in the over here, the Himalayan, in Sanskrit it means a dome of ice. It means you can say home of ice, where you can find ice throughout the whole year. Anytime you can go and you can find the ice there very easily. It is the highest and one of the longest mountain range in the world. Okay, and it stretches from 2,400 kilometers from east to west, and its width varies from 400 kilometers in Kashmir to 150 kilometers in the northeast. Okay, now in India, you know, it stretches in a curved area, in a curved structure. It stretches from Jammu Kashmir in the west to the Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Here I discussed with you all some important peaks of the Himalayan ranges, that were Everest, which is found in Nepal, K2, which is located in Pakistan, and Kanchenjunga, which is situated in India. Okay, they are being found. And now the Himalayan ranges are being divided into three parallel ranges. Number one is the Greater Himalayas, which is also called the Himadri. Second, the middle or the lesser Himalayas, which is called Himachal. And the last one, the outer Himalayas, which is also said to be the Shivaliks. So in this presentation, the part 1, we discuss about the different landforms, especially the mountains, what are the mountains, and also we discuss about the Himalayan ranges, Himalayan mountain and the northern plains. And the rest part we will continuing with the coastal islands, coastal plains and the desert islands, the desert areas in the next presentation. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day ahead.